Welcome, everyone. Happy Saturday. I'm the Grace Strega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today, Saturday, February 8th, 2025. What do we have coming through in the cards for today? Can I please have the first two cards in our 5-card spread? First two cards we are starting our day off with today are, oh my goodness, wow. We've got here our Ace of Wands in its upright, in combination with our Ace of Cups in its upright. We're starting the day off with today with double aces. And they're in their upright. Guys, get to it today. I want you focusing on positivity. I want you focusing on caring of the self. I want you working in the space of inspiration. I think that a lot of this energy that we're starting to feel like, it's giving glimmer of hope kind of energy, right? It's giving that space of the idea or the aspect that hope springs eternal when we say that it does, right? Like hope springs eternal when it says that it does, and it's not. I keep on getting, it's not a latent activity. It's an activation point, right? And I got to tell you right now, this is having a big impact depending on where you find yourselves on the frequency cycles. For masculine and feminine energy, bearing in mind, this is not based on gender, but what one feels most aligned to. I keep on seeing that, I keep on hearing, it's a marathon, it's not a race, right? You can take breaks, but you can't stop moving. Right? And I keep on seeing that there's something really profound that's happening for some of the energy in separation. And this is a continuation point in, I just see a lot of energy working on the context of how to heal from something. The space of not trying to let go of something, but honoring it. It's very much the same message that I saw that was coming through before we started this podcast today, which is a continuation of the message that we received yesterday, which is, we heal, like sometimes we experience pain that we can't let go of. And that's what we call, like, that is because it is something that is formative, right? And that's why I keep on seeing that there's a lot of those messages that come through in the space of saying that, we build altars where that pain is. But it's not the space, and I got to point this out, this isn't the space of indulging in the pain of something, but being able to honor something in such a way that you recognize that it forever changed you, right? That it created a space of like it's like a moment, a pause point, right? A chapter, if you will. And having that space of honoring it, I keep on seeing, I feel like a lot of that energy is in separation, is working in that space of understanding. And that's why I see the energies. That's why the higher self keeps on saying, whenever you're ready, right? Because so much of that work, or so much of that force that I'm seeing here, is the energy that says to oneself, I'm always going to feel like this, right? Moving forward isn't about waiting to stop feeling something. Because again, a good manifestation is not one that requires one to disassociate on the journey of moving towards it. It's allowing oneself to feel other things as well, right? So I keep on seeing that there's a lot of gentleness that's occurring for energy and separation in consideration of how far one has come and how far one still has to go, right? Allowing that pain to be the altar, but allowing it to be a place of saying, I honor it because it changed me, and I'll carry that change with me as I proceed forward. While for masculine and feminine energy coming into divine union, I just keep on seeing that for a lot of this energy right now, coming into divine union, this is I keep on seeing everybody's finding Aries. The energy in separation is finding Aries in the future, right? I see a lot of that energy in separation saying this is a story of how brave I was as I experienced something and found the determination to move forward. While for masculine and feminine coming into divine union, I see this energy finding Aries in the past, looking back on those experiences where, when we understand something in a way that we didn't before, we look back on the version of self that didn't know better, right? Or was trying, and we love that person. We adore them, right? We're cringe, but we're free because we see them and we look at that story and saying, I love that story because that is the energy of someone who was trying and trying that delivered me to where I am today, right? And it doesn't require that journey is perfect. There's a lot of stumbling blocks along the way, but there's something so beautiful about that space that I see. It feels like a lot of energy that's moving into a new space of healing as it relates to looking at something and it's interesting too. I keep on hearing the sacred wound that got itchy because it's like the sacred wound where like you move farther enough away from something that you found the thing that you're looking for, and then you look back and wince in all those spaces that you couldn't find it because it's cringy because it's uncomfortable, right? But it's uncomfortable because you wish you could bring that knowledge backwards, right? That's why I keep on seeing that's the energy that sees knowledge in the past by saying that's Aries, because look how hard they were trying, right? Aries is not warrior energy, it's child energy, right? Aries has that excitement, that get up and try again energy that is often articulate of someone who is in that space of when we're trying to learn something, we have to be ready to fail and try again, because when you're trying to do something and you're not doing it successfully, there is no failure, right? Failure is only the story of when you stop trying to do something. The more you try, everything prior to you coming into it is Aries energy, because that's the energy that says that is work towards perfection. While for masculine and feminine energy, deep within divine union right now, I just feel like today I'm getting like the warm blush of the Leo full moon. Like it brings a feeling of appreciation. It brings a feeling of gratitude. It brings a feeling of compassion for the self. But that's why I keep on saying you have to kind of navigate it you have to bring some moderation into the equation of navigating the Leo full moon energy right now, because I keep on seeing that a lot of this energy right now that we're experiencing with the Leo full moon, it's like in the center of it is compassion, but I keep on getting there's thorns all around the heart of it because it's got to do with the Uranus and Taurus, which it can be like it can be it's like navigating through frustration, so not allowing oneself to get frustrated. And then that Venus and Aries, which is like too much passion, the frustration of having passions is what needs to be navigated to be able to get to the intimacy at the heart and the center of this full moon in Leo. Center card for today's spread is, can I have one card, please? Come on, one card. Oh my gosh, they don't want to come out right now. There we go. All right, I like it. I was willing to wait for this one. We've got here our 9 of Pentacles. If things aren't ideal, then we have our work cut out for us, right? Like remembering, and we were talking about this heavily yesterday. Nostalgia, you got to be wary of nostalgia right now. You got to be wary of nostalgia, right? Nostalgia is where we look at the past and we forget the pain of the past. Everything looks better in the past, right? Everything looks better in the past, right? Because we forget about pain. And so I feel that a lot of the energy, like navigating, there's something about the energy right now. The Leo full moon's power of presence is helping everyone maintain a state of gratitude for the present, right? Because it's giving me a lot of that, and this is why, and here's the thing. and I'll tell you right now, Leos sometimes work in this space. Like when I tell you right now, I know a lot of people that say get really annoyed at Leos because they look at Leos and they go, "Why are you so positive all the time?" Right? And they sometimes see Leo energy as a space of naivete. Right? This is often why I talk about there's like all the signs are often misinterpreted in terms of how they come across to others versus what they're actually doing. Right? You know, when we're working in that space, you know, we understand, and this is the thing that others don't recognize with Leo energy, the optimism that Leos bring to situations is an intentional action, right? It's not from a place of naivete, right? It's not this is the thing that Leos like often are misinterpreted at, right? Often others see them as naive or silly because, you know, Leos carry things and they say, I choose to carry it from a place of joy. But the most important aspect of that is the fact that the Leo says, I choose. Because sometimes the hardest thing to do is to navigate the choice by which we carry something. The love that we give, like Leos often have to recognize this, the love that the way that lots of Leos express their compassion and love for others around them is in the choice of giving that gift of optimism, right? The gift that we give each other when we maintain hope, right? That is where the love lives. So I see even now there's a lot of energy that's starting to come into a lot of those Leonine lessons as it relates to the bravery, right? The bravery, the courage it takes to maintain a space of optimism, right? The courage it takes to live in a space of hope. It's not one that one is naive about. It's one that it's like the hardest thing in the world, right? This is the energy that says I choose to keep my, like, this is the energy that says I choose to remain, I choose to stay open, right? I choose to, like, Leo's, this is often misinterpreted with Leo journeys. Leo's always working to choose. It's an intentional act of coming towards others in that way because they recognize the power of presence, the gift we give each other when we're able to face fear with compassion, right? It's an intentional choice. It is a lot of the summation of a lot of this conversation that we've been having as to warrior energy, right? I choose to carry it thusly. And so I see even now that for a lot of the energy navigating this, right, this ability of doing so is helping a lot of the energy in separation heal. Because this is the energy in separation that says that wound, I choose to make an altar. I don't have to let go of it. I have to hold it sacredly. I'm going to feel other things and I'll never feel the way I did again. This is a turning point. This is a moment. It's not something I have to hold with bitterness. It's something that I can identify as something that is sacred because the lessons that I take from those spaces, the wisdom that comes with it, it's not that we ever desired for those moments to occur, but when we understand and appreciate how much something has changed us, we allow for that state of working, like this is what we identify as walking with a sense of grace, right? It's feeling, it's not just the naivete of something, but it's carrying that blessed burden of a heart that feels, right? A heart that feels is going to be a heart that's broken. It doesn't mean everything breaks it, but it means that the heart ever grows in the space of understanding what it means to be loved. So I just keep on seeing that a lot of this energy in separation kind of moving into that space of making peace with something by holding it sacredly. While for masculine and feminine energy that is coming into divine union, I just keep on seeing that for a lot of this energy coming into divine union, this is a lot of energy that's like, oh, I already got the next card out. This is a lot of this energy. And it's so, I just got to tell you, as I was saying that, the Queen of Wands came out, right? Hindsight is 2020. We forgive ourselves because we remember that things that we might see clearly now, like we were completely blind to. And this is why I keep on seeing that a lot of this energy, looking back their experiences in the past is like, look at that story on the places that I insisted something was, failing to recognize what it felt like to move towards it. Like, look at this story. Like, look at this story. Like, look at this story of the self of oh, there I was insisting. Ooh, there they were insisting. I was insisting. They were insisting. We were both insisting. Ooh, like, it's like we build compassion for that past version of self. We go, look at them go. Ooh, run the tape back. Ooh, right? Re-navigating that, coming into that space, we hold ourselves lightly. We hold ourselves lightly. And when we hold ourselves lightly, right? We hold ourselves lightly when we recognize the gravitas of something, right? God, bless that past version of self. Look at the story of them trying to help me find the things that I found today. Right? We hold that journey when we come towards the things that are for us. We often hold that path even more sacredly. It becomes cringe, right? It becomes cringe, but it's the this is the cringe that created the space of the self, right? And so I feel like a lot of that is energy that's holding that path work sacredly, even if it's creating a sense of cringe in the self in the process. While for masculine and feminine energy in separation right now, I mean, deep within divine union, everything I keep seeing here has a lot to do. And I got to tell you, I can already see some of the energy deep within divine union already contending with some of getting ahead of themselves on some of the lessons of this Leo full moon, right? And when we're working towards, when you're working towards ideals, it can feel very self-indulgent to feel sorry for the self, right? Like when you're like here, and that's the thing I keep on seeing here. I keep on hearing a lot of this energy deep within divine union saying like sorry is good, but sorry doesn't get anything done, right? Like sorry is good, but sorry doesn't get anything done. But they're not saying that as it relates to the counterpart. They're saying that as it relates to the relationship with the self, right? Like it feels good to feel bad, right? It feels good to like lay around and be like, I'm the worst. Like, like it doesn't do anything. It just feels, and I got to tell you, the same thing that says I'm the best versus I'm the worst, it's the same feeling, right? It's the same thing. When you become too indulgent on like looking at the self, when we hold ourselves highly, it's the same exact vibration as holding oneself lowly, right? Because it's really like, it's like me, like it's the same note. It's just at different pitches, right? And that's why I keep on seeing that a lot of this energy is moving into like Libra to a certain extent, which is like they're trying not to overreact to things, right? They're trying to keep that space of energetic balance in the self. And that includes not looking at oneself so harshly. Fifth card in our 5-card spread, man, I got to tell you, man, please take a moment to look over. Something happened with Leo already, because this is all heavy. This is like Leo kind of energy in this top row right now. Fifth card in our 5-card spread. Yeah, there it is, right? Like the Devil card in its reversal, right? And that's why, like, I got to tell you, like, this is the thing. When someone, I got to point this out, and we're going to talk about this because this happens a lot with Leo lessons. When Leos bring that force of positivity in, it's a choice, right? And this is hard because sometimes others look at Leos and they look at Leos as on a high horse, right? There are those who look at Leos and they say, where do you get off being so joyful, right? Where do you get off being so optimistic, right? There's energy that says, why are you being so naive? Never recognizing that Leos deeply and intrinsically understand that the empathy that we bring with ourselves, that we can be we can be our own source of light, right? And that when we choose to be our own source of light, we become a flashlight for ourselves and those around us, right? That's why often you don't see a lot of those, a lot of that path work, right? That moment of saying the joy, the audacity of joy, the audacity of making the choice to carry something from a place of positivity, from a place of laughter. This is what warrior energy does, right? That the love we bring forth, right? Not assuming, when we assume the worst, we prepare for we move in the direction of it. But when we're able to navigate, when we're able to navigate our fear, and we find happiness, when we find joy in the face of it, that is the gift that we don't just create for ourselves, but we create for those around us. So I think that there's something really beautiful that I see is happening now as we're starting to approach this Leo full moon, which is recognizing the power and the peace that we create, not just within ourselves, but with outside of ourselves, when we choose to navigate circumstances and situations from a place of positivity, right? And when others are too much in their ego, and we all have those moments, like when we see someone, when we're dwelling too much in our own anger, right? When we're dwelling too much in our own misery, like we look at others who are positive and we get upset, right? We get mad. And sometimes we forget that those that are in that space, it's not that they're not carrying the same burden, right? It's remembering that perhaps they're in a space where they're making that intentional choice to be, when we carry our pain, but we're mindful of those around us, we do so because that is where we put our strength, right? So I feel like there's something really beautiful about this, because it's actually interesting, because I feel like a lot of energy right now has been working through, I keep on hearing Aries into Leo, right? What do you do when you're afraid? I choose to navigate it joyfully. What do you do when you have that fear? I choose to embrace the fear. Does that mean you run full tilt towards it? No, right? You look at it and you say, here, come here. Let me figure out what you're trying to tell me. Let me figure out if there's something reasonable here, right? Let me actively listen to my fear, but not be beholden to it, right? This is what we talk about when we talk about healthy shadow work. When we talk about navigating that, we talk about embracing our fear to say, hey, listen, tell me what you're worried about, so I can figure out if there's something that can be done about it, or if it's just dread. Because dread is not helpful. Dread is not helpful, and dread often moves us in the direction of fear with no particular reason, right? Continuing to get clarification between our Ace of Wands and our Ace of Cups. Can I get one card to clarify, please? Clarification coming through right now. Wow! Oh my goodness gracious, guys, please go take a look at the spread today over on Substack when it's posted with the podcast. Because I'll tell you right now, there's a lot of cards. There's a lot of cards in this deck, man. Thousands upon thousands of combinations. We've got the Ace of Wands, the Ace of Cups clarified by the Ace of Swords. Clarified all upright. Be absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. What are you going to do? When we navigate from that space, this is the thing, right? When we work on the self, it's not about what happens outside of the self. It's recognizing who we are in the face of things, right? Doesn't matter what happens outside of ourselves. This is what we talk about when we move with intention, right? Neither wind nor rain nor dark of night. When we set our intention as to who we are, it answers the question as it relates to what are you going to do if, right? It doesn't matter what's going to happen. It doesn't matter in the space of predicating upon it. It matters about who we are in the face of it. So I just keep on seeing that a lot of that work, that ability of understanding the self, I just keep seeing that a lot of the energy right now, and that's why I keep on hearing Aries moving into Leo, right? Like Aries being like that, it's not just about, and this is continuation of the lessons that we've been working through. It's not just about the manifestation that brings you what you want. It's the healthy manifestation that defines who you are, who you desire to be, right? A manifestation isn't about prizes. It's about, the prize is the self. The prize is, you are the prize. You are the prize, right? And a good manifestation is one that brings you to the higher self in the process of moving towards it, right? Continuing to get clarification. And this is happening across all of the frequencies. And that's why I keep on seeing that for a lot of this energy, it feels to me like I keep on seeing, I feel like a lot of energy is finding their courage right now. They're in that space of not allowing oneself to be shaken. And that's because, and that this has more of a culmination of the point. I told you that this was going to happen. I told you that all this work during the Mars retrograde was going to be work in the space of understanding where our courage lives, right? Remembering that courage is not confidence. They're cousins. They look a lot alike. They're different things. You never find one where the other one is, because you don't need confidence when you've got courage. You don't need, when you have surety, you're not moving courageously. Courageously often feels like you're navigating from a place of fear. Often for confused for one another, never the same thing. And a lot of this work that we see, this is the energy in separation, finding Aries, finding their courage in the future. Why are they finding their courage in the future? Because they're talking to their higher self. And that's the energy. This is the energy that says, when do I become you? And this is the energy that says, when you get the courage, whenever you're ready. Like that's the energy, like I can hear the energy basically going, when do I become you? And the higher self's going, whenever you're ready. Like whenever you're ready. You just need to take that step. You just need to move towards what's for us. You just need to let go of what's not, right? While for masculine and feminine energy that's coming into divine union, I just keep on seeing that a lot of this energy coming into divine union right now, this is the energy that's finding Aries in the past, which is the like the warrior that looks back and goes, ooh, like, look at them go, ah, oof, yeah, oh, I remember that, ooh, like, oh man, like it's a lot, it's like a blooper reel, but it's like that, like we love that blooper reel, right? It's not looking at something from a place of silliness. It's remembering the pain. It's remembering, it's caring, it's like holding it sacredly, but almost like that, like this is why I'm telling you so much of this energy is becoming like inner child. Like this is Venus going into Aries, because this is the energy having the Venus energy that loves Aries. Why does love Aries? Because love loves the story of seeing someone try to find it, right? That's why Venus loves Aries. That's why they're lovers, because love adores the story of the self, right? We look back on the self and we say, I love that person. You want to cry when you see that person, right? Because that's the energy that says, thank you. Thank you for going through those, because those are not endpoints. Those were all of the moments that took you to arrive to where I am today, right? We hold that Aries energy sacredly, right? While for masculine and feminine energy that is deep within divine union, a lot of this energy deep within divine union is finding Aries in the present. I keep on seeing this is not Venus Aries that I'm seeing for it's Venus Aries coming into divine union. It's Virgo Aries. Okay, so for the energy in separation, it's Virgo Aries, right? And for the energy coming into divine union right now, it's Venus Aries. And for the energy that's deep within divine union right now, it feels a lot like Libra in Aries. right? It's in the present. It's finding balance, right? It's working on creating that balance and recognizing the balance that is the great like the great gift that we give one another. The activation point of creating balance and working in a space of positivity as one does so. Continuing to get clarification between our Ace of Cups and our Nine of Pentacles in its upright. I'm going to tell you what I'm seeing that's happening here. So hold on a minute, because I'm already, yep. Okay, so thank you. So here's the thing. This is what I was telling you. This is what I was telling you was happening during this Mars retrograde. When you can't find courage at the store, homemade is fine. Like when you can't find confidence at the store, you can replace that for courage. There's a little bit of it's a little bit of that. Like if you can't find confidence at the store, you can make courage at home. Here's how you make courage at home. There's a lot of this energy that we're seeing here as it relates to understanding that I was waiting for this to happen. I told you that the thing about this Mars retrograde that's a bit of a blessing is it goes on too long. It is way too long. It is like being on the roller coaster that the first few times you're like, ah! Like you're going up and down. You're like, dread, hope, dread, hope, dread, hope. But then I kept on saying the first month you get you're like, ah, yeah. You just get used to it, right? And so what we see here is energy is no longer waiting they're no longer waiting for Aries to show up. They're making Aries themselves. They're finding the courage within the self, right? As it relates to this Mars retrograde. So I told you, this is why I started laughing when this card came up, because look, this is what we see when confidence is not to be found. It's our responsibility to navigate with courage. So we just see that a lot of this energy here is okay, if I got to do it myself, I'll do it myself. And this is happening across all of the frequencies. Continuing to get clarification between our Nine of Pentacles in combination with our Queen of Wands. I love these three right now. I got to show you these three cards together. The Nine of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands, and the Devil card in its reversal. Man, wow. One card to clarify, please. Clarification coming through. So many cups today. Wow. Four of Cups in its reversal. Joy is a choice. Joy is an audacious act. Nobody can take your joy from you. Nobody can take your joy from you. Right? When we navigate from that space, that sense of love, right? A lot of this work, this is the message of the Leo full moon coming in for it right now, right? They can try, they can try, they can try, right? But our own ability of being able, when we look at I'll put it this way. When we look at joy as love, and this is the thing about it, you have to recognize this, because this is the thing. And this is why, when Leos are often told by others, why are you so naive? Why are you so positive? Right? This is why Leos often want to cry, because Leos express their love through joy. They're like, I made you this joy. Here it is. I made it myself. Right? It's the joy. It's the light that we give each other, the act, the determination of saying, I choose to let you see my love through the joy that I bring to you, right? It's not about the gifts. Leos keep their love in joy, right? That is what they think, that Leos look at that, the joy that we create. It's there's nothing finer than it. Leos are actually not very materialistic, to be honest. It's not the gift. They don't give things to people because they're materialistic. They like it because often when you give a gift to someone, you'll see the Leo will look at their face when they're giving them something, because they want to create that space of joy. So that space of identifying that joy is indomitable, right? Like joy is indomitable. It is you cannot bottle it. You cannot articulate upon it. Um it is light. It's like pure light. This is why we see that a lot of this work that is now being this is why I see a lot of this energy that is saying my joy is my courage, right? And for a lot of that energy in separation, like I see a lot of the energy in separation saying I care, I'm fine, I'm looking for ways to carry this pain joyfully, right? I'm looking for ways to carry this pain joyfully. I told you, the the sacred wound that becomes the altar, which is the moment that we honor something that has changed us, right? It's not that something doesn't hurt, but we recognize how that energy, and I keep on seeing, like, this is why the energy of the higher self is talking to the energy in separation that says your opinion on that changes. It's not that you never stop feeling it, but that the way you carry it changes. And a lot of that work in that space, I keep on seeing that this is the energy that says honor it, because when you're able to hold pain from a place of joy, you're not bitter upon it, right? You find joy because you hold it sacredly. You recognize and understand the magnitude and meaning of something that forever changed you, that you carry forward with you every step of the way. So I keep on seeing that, and that's why I keep on hearing the energy say, you don't stop feeling that, but you start feeling other things. You allow joy in again. You find joy. You move towards joy. So I keep on seeing that there's a lot of energy right now in separation that is finding the courage to move out of separation via saying, like, I'm seeking out my joy. I'm being like, I can hold the pain, but I keep on hearing the energy going, holding the pain does not mean that I have to relinquish the joy, right? Holding the pain does not mean I have to relinquish the joy. I've got the hands that can hold both, right? While for masculine and feminine energy coming into divine union, I keep on seeing that for a lot of this energy coming into divine union right now, this is the energy that's like, so this is like the energy goes, oh wow, oh no, I'm healing from something in a whole different way. We never stop healing. It's just what we're healing from. So I see that some of this energy is shifted into divine union because they recognize that it's not that they're fully healed from something. They're healing a whole different thing, right? They're looking at things in different ways. They're seeing energetic blind spots that they couldn't see before. And I do see that that's like having a different impact on masculine and feminine. I would not be surprised. I'm going to tell you right now, if you are a feminine energy, bearing in mind this is not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to, it feels more corrective. For masculine, it feels more gentle. Why? Because I see here, this is masculine being in Page of Cups as they do that work, and feminine being in Queen of Wands. Why? Because masculine's looking back on the journey of the self and saying, look at the energy that was prioritizing the wrong things, or look at the energy that was trying too hard and wasn't being their authentic self and kept finding things that weren't for them because they were finding the things for the ego that they were creating instead of the actual self, right? And this is the feminine that looks at those experiences and says, look at that energy that thought that they had to move away from themselves in order to find the thing that was for them. Both of those energies going, right? While for masculine and feminine, deep within divine union, this is why I would not be surprised right now. I'm going to tell you, if masculine and feminine, deep within divine union, aren't giving each other a little bit of space. Why do we see that some of this energy is giving each other space right now? Masculine is in a space right now where they're finding themselves by moving towards that ability of inner child healing, right? Working in that space of understanding authenticity is one that defies definition. Feminine's trying to become more definitive right now. Right? Same path work, embodying it in different ways. So masculine may be feeling more of an an energetic expansion point right now, trying new things, doing new things, not being hard on the self in the process. Feminine, becoming more becoming more like clear as to who they are via the vibration of who they are not. Continuing to get clarification between our Queen of Wands in its upright in combination with our Devil card in its reversal. Love these two cards together, by the way. One card to clarify, please. Clarification coming through right now with our Eight of Wands in its reversal. So this is welcome to 2025. Like honoring your nope. like here's the thing, and I got to tell you right now, I keep on seeing, so it has a lot to do, like we're talking, like, and I like this because it feels to me that for some of the energy deep within divine union, this is how the energy is already stopping, like they're stopping themselves if they're getting too frustrated or hard on themselves, right? Feeling sorry, like when we're too hard on ourselves, it's often very much similar to the experience of feeling sorry for ourselves, right? Like it's like it's a lot of that energy that we create our own blockages in that way, right? Like we get frustrated, we can't do anything from a healthy place of frustration. So there are, a lot of the work that I'm seeing that's coming through with this Leo full moon is saying, like, being frustrated doesn't accomplish anything. Frustration is a distraction. Frustration is feeling something and wanting to project it forwards. Channeling frustration into places or spaces it feels like it's useful, right? Like that's a gift. Everything has a place, but I keep on hearing a lot of this energy deep within divine union, both saying to themselves and saying to one another, frustration, what a waste. What a waste, right? When we see someone frustrated and doing silly things in their frustration, that's all you can say. What a waste. What a waste of energy. Could use that for something good. Like that is just wasteful. Like, you could be using that for something, right? Everything's a gift. So, it's wasteful. It's energetically wasteful to be frustrated because it's that moment that it's like it doesn't do anything. It's like all that energy for what, right? So I feel like a lot of that energy is helping one another in that space by reminding each other that, when we're hard on ourselves, it's not healthy, right? We have to be gentle. We have to show compassion to ourselves. And a lot of, like, I know that's like this is one of the hardest things to heal. I'm going to tell you right now, it's the hardest thing to heal, right? Because we often want to become exceptional as it relates to the standards that we hold ourselves to, as opposed to the standards of those that we hold around us. So here's my little reminder to you, if you're already starting to feel like this. If you're getting mad at yourself for not learning something as well as you can, do you get mad at others around you for doing that? If you can't find the space to be kind to yourself, then at least hold yourself to the standards that you hold others to. Don't get like, I'm telling you, with a lot of this Leo full moon energy, don't get exceptional as it relates to high standards for yourself or for others right now, right? Because I'm going to tell you right now that, and I want to put it this way. If you're saying to yourself, I'm not doing enough, by whose definition? By whose definition? Right? Recognize the energetic source that one is inquiring upon when one gets mad at the self and say, I'm not doing enough. Is that your own standard? Or is it something outside of the self? Because there's something really important to recognize as it relates to, I want to say, There's something about the introspection point of the unconscious desire to hold oneself to an unattainable standard that's going to potentially help you with this Leo, in this Leo full moon, to understand what your purpose is, right? Versus what feels like it's blocking you from your purpose, right? Because when we identify and we say, oh, that's the higher self standards, then suddenly we're like, oh, I can see clearly what it is that I'm truly, like what it is that I feel truly called to do, right? That is a lot of that space of being able to understand ourselves in the process, right? Like that grand, that wider purpose of the self. But when we look at something and it feels negative, when we're like, I'm not doing enough, and being like, well, by whose standards? And you go, I don't, yours? And you go, no, then whose? We sometimes can recognize some karmic healing that we need to do. Because if that standard is outside of the self and it's not the higher self, then that's a wound, right? So, continuing to get clarification. Welcome to Aquarius season, where we're getting all kinds of information about wounds. That would make sense. A full moon in Leo in Aquarius season would bring up a lot of like introspection on spiritual and emotional hygiene as it relates to karmic wounds. Well, for masculine and feminine energy that is coming into divine union, I just keep on seeing that for a lot of this energy coming into divine union, I keep on hearing this energy, oh no, I've got all kinds of new work to do. I see all this energy going, oh no, I've got all kinds of new work to do, because that energy is potentially seeing blind spots in terms of what they were healing in the past. Sometimes we only understand things when we receive something that we haven't received. And I keep on seeing that for some of that energy coming into divine union, recognizing and understanding something while in divine union is giving some kind of sharp clarity to an energetic blind spot that you may have had in the past, to which I'll say, don't be too hard on yourself. You can't hold yourself to the standard of the past on something that you could not see. Navigate that gracefully, because I keep on getting the sense of that being like new homework, new assignment, new assignment, new assignment. While for masculine and feminine energy that is in separation, a lot of this energy in separation, there's something really sacred in the moment that we look at something and say, the only thing stopping me from my manifestation is the self, right? There's something really beautiful about that. And I got to tell you, I keep on getting a message from a lot of the energy in separation that if something that you used to run towards, you're now approaching with trepidation, that is usually a sign of you recognizing the enormity of something and the sacredness of something. So congratulations. Congratulations. Like that fear, that anxiety, that is part and parcel for the manifestation of what you're trying to move towards, because you're not moving haphazardly. You're doing so with a lot of care. And the care is, again, that's why I keep on getting Virgo into Aries. You're holding yourself preciously. And when we hold things preciously, we always carry them with a little bit of fear, right? How do we hold things preciously? Have you ever held something really expensive? You're like, like I can hear this energy going, but they're doing it with the self. They're going, So remember that, right? We do so carefully, but with courage. That is how we hold something. That's how we move with something preciously. Continuing to get clarification between our Ace of Swords in combination with our Page of Cups and its upright. Can I get one card to clarify, please? Clarification coming through right now with our Magician in its reversal. So I keep on getting a lot of the energy in separation that's working in that context of saying, I didn't expect my manifestation to feel this way. That's because a healthy manifestation helps us recognize the disparity between what we expect it to be versus how it actually feels to embody it. What do we recognize with a lot of maturation processes, right? We never know. We always, like, you remember when you were a kid and you thought about what it felt like to be a teenager, and then you get to a teenager and you're like, I feel awful. What is happening to me? Like, oh no, the transformation. Transforming always feels ideal in our heads because we only see what's on the outside of it. Sometimes we walk right into our manifestations and we don't realize we're there because how it feels to be within it is like a whole different thing. So I just keep on seeing that for a lot of that energy, recognizing that often moving towards a manifestation can sometimes bring forward a lot of feelings of fear. Why do they bring forward a lot of feelings of fear? Because again, if you're moving towards something that is precious, you're carrying yourself preciously. You may be carrying yourself with a bit more energetic anxiety, right? That's not that is and that, like, that's the energy that goes, what is happening to me? It's like the manifestation's happening to you, right? Like this is how you find the higher self. Like the first step is that you start holding yourself much more carefully because you recognize how precious that you are. And when you're precious, you don't run haphazardly toward things because you don't want to lose energetic process. So remembering holding that fear with reverence, because that fear is in a way energetic protection, right? Because it's energetic protection because you're in the sensation of holding oneself preciously. You're being careful. That is also spiritual protection, right? So being able to recognize and identify and embrace our fear. Remember, shadow work. Thank you for protecting me, fear. Thank you for telling me why I'm afraid, right? That ability of doing so. This is how we can find the fear that we move towards because we identify that it is the thing that is keeping us safe as we move towards our manifestations, right? It's honoring, again, it's not much like healthy shadow work. It's not running towards the fearful tilt. It's honoring the sensible fear to understand what it is trying to do. Just like we listen to our emotions to understand what they are asking for, we listen to our fear to understand what they're worried about. We say, why did you draw that? Why did you draw? What is that? What's going on in there, buddy? What's going on in there? Right? Continuing, because sometimes, and we always talk about this is why we embrace our fear, because sometimes the fear is healthy. Sometimes the fear is trying to show us something that we can't see. Sometimes the fear is just being like, sometimes it gets creepy. Sometimes it's dread, and dread is not helpful. So we always want to work in a space of recognizing the fear that is energetically healthy versus what is making oneself feel the sense of dread, because they're different things. The fear that is healthy is the fear we want to embrace, because it is the fear that helps us understand what we can act upon in a way that helps us feel supported and safer, right? The fear that comes more from a space of dread, like I said, sometimes the fear brings something to you and you're like, why? Because I could. Like, sometimes the fear goes, because I could. And you go, okay, buddy, we're going to put this here because we can't do anything about that. We're going to put it in a special gallery. Nope, you and I, we'll just look at that one together. Nope, it's fine. Continuing to get clarification between we help our fear understand, like we heal our relationship with fear by understanding and recognizing what feels like it is productive versus what feels like it's not. But we can't do that unless we embrace that space, right? And again, doesn't mean that you run full tilt towards your fear. You have a healthy relationship with it. Continuing to get clarification between our Page of Cups in combination with our Four of Cups in its reversal. Can I get one card to clarify, please? Clarification coming through right now with Empress in its reversal. So this is very interesting right now, because I'm going to tell you right now, and this is something that's coming through that's very beautiful as it relates to those with Leo placements. right? Like when we're feeling, I'll put it this way. The thing about Leo placements that Leos understand, that I feel like is a heavy lesson that's coming through for all of the energy right now, which is kind of beautiful, but is also difficult. It's not about faking it until you make it. It's about feeling it until you heal it, right? When we recognize that we're being hard on ourselves, right? When we recognize, when we get hard on ourselves, and this is the thing, Leos understand this. It's just, it's an unhealthy ego space to think one is amazing. It's the same exact energy as thinking that you suck. The same thing. Like if you think that you're the best thing since sliced bread, that is the same exact energy that says that you are the worst and that you are, and like the lone, like the shining beacon and the lone wolf are the same exact force, right? Because what it really says is me. Like it doesn't create a space of us, right? It doesn't create a space of us. And so when we make the energetic choice to love ourselves, like you have to recognize Leos are not egotistical. Leos face, they see what others see. They see jealousy. They see hatred. They feel them as well. They make the energetic choice as to how one carries it, right? How we choose to carry something. And this is what's beautiful about Leo energy. Sometimes you can't decide what you're given, right? Sometimes you can't decide what you're given, but you can always choose how to carry it. You can always choose how to carry it. And it's in those moments that we choose to carry things from a place of joy and positivity and gratitude. That becomes the greatest gift, because that is the energy that says this is a gift that we share for those around us, right? This is how we let the love in, right? So I think that there's a lot of this work I keep on getting. The thing about this full moon is I keep on seeing it's like I'm going to tell you right now, I keep on getting, it's like sacred heart energy, because it looks like a heart covered in thorns, because with the Taurus, like the Taurus in the Uranus and Taurus, which is like nothing is perfect and everything is bothering me. There's some of those thorns. The Venus in Aries, I'm my passion and I'm angry. I'm passionate and I'm angry, right? Where does frustration come from? Where does passion come from? That secret voice that says inside of us, I am afraid, right? And we get past the thorns to the inner child that is sitting somewhere and says, I am afraid, and we embrace that energy. We say to ourselves in those moments, you are not perfect. And you can be loved in that space, because love does not require you to be perfect. It just requires you to be authentic in expressing how you are. And the minute you say, instead of reacting to what you feel, right? When the minute you stop reacting to what you feel and instead articulate how you feel, you allow another to heal you, because they're not afraid to come towards you, right? So that's why I told you right now, a lot of potential healing that's coming through in this full moon. Intimate conversations, but I keep on saying it's like the power of a whispered voice that articulates about something that is hard to say, the strength that it takes to come into that space of intimacy, to be able to talk about how one feels. It can move mountains. But that same energy, if you're experiencing this, again, if you're experiencing this energy too much from the space of ego, it can feel a lot more like, woe is me, right? Why is, like, it's a lot of this, like, it's more of that space of, like, be avoidant of the indulgence of feeling overly confident in oneself or overly sorry for oneself, because in this energy, because I keep on seeing profound healing or hurt feelings. Profound healing or hurt feelings. When you feel like something's happening to you, that's when we say, my feelings are hurt and it's their fault. When we are in a place of introspection, we say, I honor how I feel. And I recognize how others do as well, right? We're all doing the best that we can. continuing to get clarification between our Four of Cups in its reversal in combination with our Eight of Wands in its reversal. 2 cards to come out. Wow. Again, and this is exactly what I'm talking about right now. This is the thing about this full moon. It really has a lot to do, depend on how you carry that kind of energy, right? Like if you're in that space, like this is going to be, if you're in that space that you feel like everything's happening to you, right? It's going to be a really hard full moon, right? Because there's going to be an amplification of it's going to feel like it's going to amplify your wounds. It's going to feel like it's going to make the places that hurt potentially hurt more. But that's why I want you to kind of make sure that you're not in that space. Like, and listen, it's fine to have those moments, especially karmically, because it feels like some karmic energy here about working through relationships is coming through with this. You know, we can have those moments where we articulate and say, I was not okay with that, right? Like this is how we heal too. We don't get reactive in the space of our emotions. We become introspective as it relates to experiences wherein we look at something and say, I was not okay with that. We're introspective, right? Having those spaces of being able to be, when we navigate pain with self-awareness, we show others how to support us, right? When we navigate from a place of introspection, we don't just say to someone, you hurt me, right? That doesn't help anything. Saying to someone, you hurt me, doesn't heal anything. But when we say, this is what I could have done better. This is what I could have communicated better. This is what I'm going to do better, right? When we take our portion as it relates to recognizing what is within our power to change versus something that we experienced, this is how we heal, because we understand what is in our power to change. We find our own, like, this is why sometimes when we heal, we find our authority again. We find our authority of self because we recognize what was within our power to change, to accept, right? And we understand what was beyond that purview point. So I keep on seeing, even now, that's why I keep on saying, like, massive possibilities here for conversations as it relates to apologies, accountability, recognition of wounds, right? Simultaneously, the same energy, if someone is moving too much from the space of the ego, this could amplify a hurt. This could amplify a wound, right? It could amplify like that type of energy that moves in that space of like higher and it could become energetically dramatic because it's a Leo full moon, which is like, how dare you energy, right? Like, or I'm hurting, but speaking about the nameless hurt that doesn't give a clarification as to what one can do to resolve it, right? So there's a lot of this space here. I want you to navigate this with a point of compassion. And I'm telling you right now, do not get hyperbolic during this move. Do not get hyperbolic. Do not just talk about the pain, like introspect upon it. Clarification between our Magician card and our Empress in the reversal. One card to clarify, please. We've got here our Four of Wands. Now, what's beautiful about this is everything I'm seeing here for the energy and separation, it feels like I see a lot. I'm going to keep telling you, I keep on seeing a lot of energy and separation right now that is literally, they feel like there's energy and separation right now that feels like they are on the cusp of their manifestation goal, but they're actually already in it. Because the anxiety that they're feeling as they approach their manifestation is the hallmark of the fact that they are in the energetic frequency wherein they're holding something sacredly that would allow them to move into something. But the thing about it is navigating that feeling right now is also what's preventing some energy, because it feels like anxiety. it feels like navigating from a place of fear. So I'm going to say again, if you're feeling like that in separation, I want you to move that into a space of excitement. I want you to move that into a space of making room to navigate joy, because everything that I keep seeing here, to a certain extent, that same trepidation is helping you recognize what feels like it is energy that is wants the same things as you, because they will also be in that mentality. Look at masculine and feminine here, right? In separation, both in that mentality. Feminine, feeling that empress. Like, I've been telling you guys this for a few days. What is feminine saying? I'm not ready. What is masculine saying? I'm not ready. What is the higher self saying? They're ready. Like, they're ready. Like, it's the feeling, it's the feeling of not readiness is the readiness, right? So there's a lot of this energy here. So don't, like, make sure that you're navigating any of that with a sense of compassion for the self, right? And that doesn't mean that and if you're feeling anxiety through it, don't be like, just give yourself a beat. Be intentional. Honor that energetic feeling, because they're saying to me that, like, something about this here is a lot of this energy that's on the cusp of a breakthrough. And sometimes we feel like this, on the cusp of a breakthrough. Continuing to get clarification between our Empress card in its reversal, in combination with our Three of Cups in its reversal, in combination with our Ten of Pentacles in its upright. Can I get one card to clarify, please? Clarification coming through right now with the Six of Wands, which is exactly what I would expect, right? There is energy right now in separation that is holding themselves, like, you're holding the self so sacredly that you're afraid to move forward, right? Because you recognize that that you are precious, right? And when we are precious, we often have that moment that we say to ourselves, I don't feel worthy, right? When we're carrying something precious, we say to ourselves, I don't feel worthy. So it feels to me like a lot of this energy and separation is recognizing that something about that, like feeling that sense that you're moving towards alignment. We sometimes have to navigate the fear of that. We have to navigate the anxiety. But there's something really important that helps one recognize, and I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy and separation, that the space of understanding how one feels. I got to tell you right now, sometimes when we're in unhealthy places, we feel more comfortable because we know what to expect, right? We feel security because at least there's nothing that can energetically surprise us there. But I just keep on seeing that for a lot of this energy and separation, having that feeling of anxiety that potentially rises up is recognizing the fact that you're almost like you're on the cusp of a breakthrough, because you're no longer chasing after things, but you're moving with intentionality towards what is for you, right? Again, a healthy manifestation isn't just about moving towards something and saying that I want it. It's working in collaboration with the universe and saying, this is what I desire. Help me see it. Help me see help me see it and recognize what it is, right? And I just keep on seeing that there's something about that, like there's something about that feeling. Like I keep on seeing that the higher self is saying it's not going away. That's what's protecting the energy going forward, in relationality to recognizing what's not for them, right? While for masculine and feminine energy that is coming into divine union, I keep on seeing that for a lot of this energy coming into divine union right now, I keep on seeing it's like it feels bittersweet, because this is the energy that is seeing something in the past in a way that they couldn't. And sometimes when we see things in a way that we couldn't before, we recognize something that we have to heal in a whole different way. And like a lot of that here I feel like that's almost coming into that space of forgiveness for the self, forgiveness for others. There's like a lot, I see like a lot of energy coming into divine union that's coming into that space of karmic healing. While for masculine and feminine energy right now, deep within divine union, this is navigating through frustration. This is not getting frustrated with oneself as you navigate that journey. This is remembering and reminding yourself that when we are moving towards, when we hold ourselves to a high standard, we always feel there's always more that we can do. There's always something else that we hope that we can achieve. But being able, like, I feel like a lot of the energy right now, deep within divine union, if you're feeling frustrated with yourself, I want you to sit down today and write a list of everything that you've accomplished. Because sometimes, like, I keep on seeing, I'm telling you, this has to do with some of this, like some of this Leo full moon in the wake of some of the energy happening around it. It becomes easy to look at frustrations right now instead of victories. So make sure if you're doing, like, if you're going to sit there and write down all the things that you're like, if you're going to give yourself like all the spaces that you're frustrated about, you also have to write down all the things that you're proud of. That's what I'm telling you right now. That is in order. You cannot do one without doing the other. Okay. Final card for today's spread between our 4 of Wands in its upright and our 6 of Wands in its reversal is one card to clarify. Lovers in its reversal. Okay, this is a beautiful message. I'm going to tell you a little story right now, okay? I'm going to tell you a little story to help you navigate some of this energy. And it actually has something to do with when I first started to become a reader for others. I actually went to my reader, someone who I went to, and I brought up the fact that I had to read, that I felt this calling to read tarot. And she said, you absolutely have to. And then I said to her, I said, but I don't think I can. And why? And she said, why? And I said, because I'm afraid. And then she said, I said, I'm afraid I'm not going to do it well. And then she said to me, that's why you got to read. Because when we care about things, right? When we care about things, we typically navigate them with a sense of terror, right? When we hold something preciously, we never do it carelessly. We never stop caring about it. We always worry about it. Anything you love comes in the space, and those who love deeply know that love requires a lot of bravery, because love is an act of being able to have the courage of facing your fear over and over and over again. We are brave in the face of love because that anxiety we feel is the force of love. It is the concern. It is the trepidation. It is what protects those we care about. And when we do not have a healthy relationship with our fear, we cannot love properly, because we allow the fear to intervene in our love feeling like love. When we allow that force of fear to overrun us, our love stops feeling like love. The ability to experience, the ability to give love is directly proportional to one's ability to navigate one's own anxiety and one's own fear. Because by doing so, by not projecting the fear out onto those that we care about, but embodying it, honoring it, and recognizing it, we are intentional in giving forth the force of love in a way that feels like love. So there's so much of this energy here that I see. This is either energy, like a lot of the work that's happening over this full moon in Leo is navigating that space. And I see even now there's a lot of karmic healing that's happening during this full moon, and either recognizing those experiences in the past where someone may have tried to love you, but what they gave you did not feel like love. Boy, oh boy, it did not feel like love because they allowed their fear to intervene too much, right? This is how we create wounds in each other. Or there's a lot of this energy that I see that this full moon is bringing out in honoring those spaces and places of feeling the expansion of a heart space. And when we navigate a heart space, it's not that it doesn't feel good. It's recognizing the space of the heart that has the ability to feel the full power of fear and proportionally the full power of love. That's why I keep on getting that Libra has something like, it's Like, like tall trees have deep roots, right? They're directly proportional. You don't feel one without the other, right? It's not about making one go away. It's about finding the ability to feel that in its enormity and the miracle that that is, right? The simultaneous miracle of recognizing the relationship and the balance point between fear and love, right? It isn't, that is what we talk about when we talk about expansion. Bottom of the deck, especially with this Four of Pentacles in its reversal. I just keep seeing that for a lot of the energy right now. Navigating frustration is what we have to be conscientious about. Because I'm going to tell you right now, there's a lot of this, like when we feel too much, right? What does frustration say? I don't want to feel like this. I don't want to feel this way. You take it. That's what frustration says. Frustration says, you take this. Here, I'm throwing it to you, right? Like that's a lot of that energy, right? Frustration is literally the articulation of a force of energy, of something that you feel that feels like a pesky nuisance, and you're going to make it someone else's problem, right? that is what happens when we're frustrated, right? What we're really saying is, I can't hold this. You hold it. It's hot potato energy. So, and the thing about it right now is, in the middle, and this is why I keep on saying, be a little bit conscientious about this full moon in Leo, because surrounding the full moon in Leo, we've got a lot of this annoying energy. We've got Uranus and Taurus, which is like, again, like no tolerance for anything, that little thing that drives you nuts. We got Aries and Venus. So like a lot of that type of like, I just love you so much. Like, it's like that, like, I always like to point out Aries and Venus, like we pet things gently. No, but I just want to squeeze it. It's a lot of that, so I want you to take a breath. If you're feeling like that, you have room to feel the things you're feeling and not project them outwards. Okay. Give yourself like healthy intention, not projection. Lock in. Don't lash out right now. That is our daily collective read for today. I want to thank you guys so much for being here and experiencing it. Just a reminder, if you would like to book a private reading with me, you can book one on my site. Please keep in mind, if you book a private reading with me, it is a 2-step process. You have to book the reading, you have to pay for the reading. Please do both if you'd like to have this reading. Most importantly, please remember that I will never, ever, 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 ever reach out to you for a private reading. I will never DM you. I will never PM you. I will never slide into your inbox and tell you that I have a very important message that only I can deliver. The only way you can book a reading with me is through my website. Also, if you want to follow me across the other social channels, please go through the tree that has links in it in my bio. I know that there are a lot of accounts that pretend to be me, so the best way to ensure you're actually following me is by going to follow me and find me via that tree. Also, I want to give you guys a couple of updates before we move into personal readings today. First and foremost, thank you to everyone who came to our recent class on the Hermit card. Our next class will be held on Wednesday, February 19th at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. We will be continuing our studies into the tarot with a focus on the Wheel of Fortune. I cannot wait to teach this class. It might be a two-parter. And if you would like to become a part of our tarot class program, all you need to do is become a paid subscriber to my Substack. Your paid subscription to my Substack is your ticket of entry into our live classes each and every month. As a monthly subscriber, you will also have access to over 9 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library. You'll also have access to a one-on-one chat with me and the other students to ask any questions that you may have in relation to anything that we have studied or are currently learning thus far. And if you become a founding member to my Substack, not only will you receive a discount on the full year's worth of classes, you will also have full access to the full Tarot Church Library. You will also have available to you the opportunity to have a free one-on-one mentorship class with me, wherein I will assess where you are on your personal tarot journey and give you the best insights in terms of how to utilize those classes to the best of your advantage going forward. One of the things I tried to do in these classes was make them accessible to the absolute novice tarot reader as well as the seasoned reader. There's definitely something there for everyone. So I want to thank you if you're already joining me there, and I look forward to potentially seeing you at our next class. And if you are a subscriber on the Clock app, or if you are a member over on the place where we keep the videos, be sure to head over to our subscriber only Discord channel, because there you will find a special coupon code that will give you an additional discount to that Substack subscription. Even if you don't become a paid subscriber to my Substack, I would urge you to follow me there, because there we post each day's podcast with the full picture of today's spread. We also post there our weekly newsletter, which will let you know about our in-person events as well as our online live schedule. I want to let you guys know that on top of my standard life path readings, I also offer mentorship classes. These are for any of my students that are seeking a more personalized educational experience with me. I take a very limited number of students for this reason, as those classes are focused on each individual student's personal growth and spiritual journey work. Those classes can be purchased on an individual level or as a monthly class series, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits. Also, for my clients that are seeking more consistent weekly tarot support, I also offer weekly tarot insight packages. That is a package of 4 30-minute readings, again, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits, so that you can stay more consistent on your personal journey. I'm also very happy now to offer right in time permits, so that you can stay more consistent on your personal journey. I'm also very happy now to offer right in time wacky dreams we're having during Aquarius season, dream interpretation readings. You can purchase those per dream or as a package. If you purchase a package, I would encourage you to start to keep a dream journal, as we will meet weekly and or bi-weekly to review what is occurring in your dreams, and then utilizing the tarot to understand the key messages and lessons that are coming through the dream space. I want to thank you guys for lessons that are coming through the dream space. I want to thank you guys so much for being here today and sharing in these messages, and we will do this again on Monday.